Yeah, for me personally, it was a pretty disappointing season. But I think there are some silver linings in that. My play improved at the end of the season after making some adjustments. And getting traded twice, even though it kind of uproots your personal life, and can be stressful in that sense, it means that there's teams out there that want you. So, I'm taking away those silver linings, and then free agency started, and White Sox were the first team to reach out. They told me that I was their top target, and that was you know both super encouraging, and I think that meant a lot, considering how difficult I felt like last year went. And talked to Will Venable a couple times before signing, and got really good vibes from him, and just like the message that he was putting forth of opportunity to playing time, and being a leader in the clubhouse, were both pretty important things for me. Throughout this process of free agency. I say process, it it went pretty quick. Yeah, I'm excited, and I'm thrilled about the opportunity.
What kind of were the conversations about role? I mean, obviously you're a guy who's hit lefties very well, throughout your career, but are you looking to kind of show you can do both, if the opportunity's there?
Yeah, even though that's been my role for many years, I've always considered myself an everyday player. I think that mentality's helped me actually excel in the role that I've been asked to play. And there are no guarantees, and nor would I expect that to be the case. I think your play always dictates how much playing time you get, and but I think on paper it's a great fit in terms of the lefty outfielders, and my career stats against lefties, to kind of shield some guys from some platoons and platoon splits, and the versatility too to play all three outfield spots, I think was a draw for them as well. So yeah, I'm excited.
Hey, Austin. What does it mean to be able to have a landing spot already in here in November?
Yeah, I think it's very comforting. I just welcomed my first child into the world 2 weeks ago, and like I said earlier, getting traded twice with a pregnant wife, and moving across the country a couple times, and to be able to settle and find a spot, right away, kind of settles the off season a little bit for us. The what ifs, and the all the personal life drama that can kind of arise from the uncertainty that is the baseball ecosystem. So super excited about that. And then we landed in personally my favorite city in the league, in terms of always visiting. So I'm excited to get to Chicago and settle in, and explore the city some more.
Hey, Austin, this is kind of year two of the latest incarnation of the rebuild for the White Sox. And I know it's not exactly like you're an old guy, but you've been in the league a little bit. So along with contributing on the field, what kind of responsibilities do you kind of see, and do you kind of embrace that with, working with even the younger players on the team?
Yeah, I think, that conversation will continue throughout the off season, and, the early parts of the season, of what that role looks like, and what I can contribute, both from like an experience level, and hopefully off the field level as well. I've always told guys that it starts off the field, and if you can be in a stable situation, mentally, physically, off the field, it's only going to help you translate it to on the field. So that's a conversation that Venable and I will continue to have moving forward, and it was something that I really enjoyed, taking on that role in Baltimore, with the young squad that they had, and kind of just try to level with guys, and whatever way I could, and wherever they were, personally and professionally, and kind of just help nurture and mature them as much as possible.
You didn't have a long time working with him, but what was your connection like with Ryan Fuller in Baltimore?
Oh, Ryan's the best. I think He understands the swing, which is obviously very important. But what I took away the most, I think, was what he talked about on the mental side of the game, especially, for hitters, it being so up and down and, frustrating at times. And I thought he had a lot of great wisdom and teaching points on that aspect of the game. So I'm excited to continue working with him and see him quite a bit this season.
Hey, Austin, you talked about talking with Will Venable. Just, can you go a little more in depth on that and maybe what, as a former big leaguer, he's able to kind of do to connect to you guys and kind of make you guys feel more comfortable?
Yeah, I think he understands the struggle that is being a big leaguer. Not everyone are the Juan Sotos and the Aaron Judges of the world, and to have a guy that bounced around and in his own words was at the end of a roster quite a few times, and played the game for the love of the game. It's comforting, and I think he also just his personality in general was very calming and very relaxed, which I think players typically respond to. When baseball can be such a high pressure, anxiety driven game sometimes.
Austin, something Ryan talked about was kind of doing things to keep you like closed in your swing a little bit more and allow you to make good swing decisions, but also kind of getting your bat angle ready to be in the zone kind of a little bit sooner. How did you kind of see that stuff play out down the stretch last year, and is there kind of more still to refine as you go into the next year?
Yeah, I think there's always more to refine with your swing. As soon as you think you got it figured out, the game comes and humbles you quite a bit. So, always striving to get better in that regard. And, but for me, like with the adjustments that Ryan and the other coaches in Baltimore helped me make, were just getting into my back hip so that, I could stay a little more stable in my stance and my stride, and help me to, to be on time more consistently and more balanced consistently, so that I could track the ball more and get my swing off without feeling like rushed or pressured to make an early decision. So I think those results, it's a tiny sample, but I felt I was moving in the right direction and making a lot of good strides in that regard.
And kind of talking about them showing that you were their number one target right away, did you expect the offseason to move this quickly? Were you expecting it to be a longer wait? Like, what kind of expectations did you bring into kind of your first time being in free agency?
Yeah, I was trying to go in with no expectations, which is a little hard, but I think it's every offseason is a little different. I've spent quite a bit of time tracking over the last couple of years, being involved with the union and just like the economics of baseball, how it's developed over the last couple of years. And, last year being a really, really odd free agency, it was, my loose expectation was, okay, I'm either going to sign super early. And you saw teams last year, like the Royals, strike really early, the Braves as well. And then every other team seemed like they waited till just about spring training started. So I guess the loose expectation was like, all right, it's either going to happen really early, I'm a clear target for some teams, or I'm going to have to wait it out and, make a decision right around spring training. So I'm glad this is the way that it went, and excited about the spot that I landed in.
Austin, you talked pretty glowingly about working with Ryan. Was his presence, I don't know if the timeline matches up here, but was his presence with the White Sox part of the decision-making process for you to come aboard?
That was definitely a part of it. I saw that like a couple days before the White Sox originally reached out, but my agent advised that I not reach out to him just for, I guess, negotiating purposes. But it was definitely a huge factor for me, to work with someone that I enjoyed working with and felt like had some success with, and felt like there was more to be kind of unlocked. That was a huge aspect of it, especially coming off a down season. your relationship with the hitting coaches is pretty key, in my opinion, on how you adjust throughout the course of the season, and it has a huge impact on the stats that you have throughout the course of the season. So that was definitely a huge part of it.
He talked fairly recently about the idea of going out and getting guys who, maybe coming off seasons where they didn't do what they wanted to do and kind of bring them back to where they've been in the past. Does that kind of give you some confidence that the team sees you as somebody who can get right back to where you've been in the past and maybe send you in a direction that's more to your liking?
Definitely. I think that was the biggest draw for me in terms of what I was looking for this offseason. And, I think instilling that confidence in the player of like, hey, we see things that you do really well. And, you just had a down year, and it happens to everyone. And we don't think you're that player. We think you're this player. That's huge for confidence, and, can really help you turn the corner, I think.
What are some of the reasons Chicago's your favorite MLB city?
Well, I just think that, like, first of all, it's a big city feel. It feels close-ish to New York, but I think the people are incredibly nice. The food is great. The weather's great. Now, granted, I feel like every season I've been in the big leagues, I've come through in the middle of the summer. But just the atmosphere around the lake and the outdoors has been really cool to see. And so that's definitely a big draw for me.
We all silly like the mayor.